Hope you're able to see my screen, right? So what yesterday we discussed? Yesterday we discussed about data types, right? What are the primitive data types we have and what is a subject data type? Today we are going to discuss some more basic concepts. So generally in Apex class, two types of variables are defined generally. Okay, defined generally. So what are the two types of variables we can define means one is local variables, and the next one is global variables. Global variables. Okay, so this is what is local variable. Local variables are nothing but variables are defined within the scope. Okay, within the scope are called local variable. If you want, I'll increase. Okay, local variables. And also these variables are cannot be called outside of the scope. Okay, I will provide one example. What is scope under? What is global variable? Global variable is nothing but global variables are variables defined within the scope or outside the scope as well. Defined within or maybe outside of the scope. Outside of the scope are called as a global variable. Global variable. Variables are defined outside of the scope are called as a global variable. These variable can be called outside of the scope. Okay. First of all, what is scope? What is scope? Right. Scope is nothing but whatever code we are declared within the flower bracket, that is something like a scope. Okay. If you go to Salesforce, go to developer console. Just a minute. Right. Go to developer console. Already we created one class, right? Otherwise, I'm going to create Apex class. Open the existing Apex class. See, this is the class, right? So this is one scope. Okay. So this is one scope. And here also one scope. So scope is nothing but whatever logic you defined inside between the start bracket and end bracket, this flower bracket, that is something like a scope. Okay, so whatever variables are declared within the scope, that is nothing but a local variables. Whatever variables you are declaring outside the scope means this is the main one. This is the main scope and these are the subscopes each function. Okay, so this is for global scope, this is the local scope variable. Now here, what is difference between local variable and global variable? We can access local variable within the scope only. If you want to access any variable outside the scope, it is not possible. Let's see one example here, practical example. So go to Salesforce, go to developer console, make it as a tab. Now make it, remove this class, create a one class, Apex class, variables hyphen example, enter. We can give any name. Okay, this is the Apex class. How to create Apex class? Go to file, click on new button, just click on Apex class. You can enter the class name, automatically the class is created. See now here we can create a variable public string last name. Okay, last name, and also we can create one more variable public string first name, and also public integer age, right? So these are the variables we declare. Okay, so data type, variable name. We are not passing any value, we are not declaring, or we are not assigning any values this variable. Just simply I defined variables. Yesterday already we discussed it, right? How to do, what is data type and variable. Data type string, variable called, we can give the name of the memory location, equal to it is a string Raj, something like this we can define, right? But I'm not assigning any value, simply I'm defining variable. Okay, so remove this. Now I'm going to create one method, public void method 1. Okay, so here also I'm going to declare one variable, public string, or maybe we can use, without using public directly, we can use decimal salary equal to 34,000. Okay, now what is the error here? Save now. Yeah, it is saved without any error. Okay, and also string phone number equal to, we can assign any phone number, and also what is the last name equal to Raju, and also first name equal to CHI, and also age equal to 35. Okay, see here you can observe one thing. So decimal salary and phone number I declared data type, but remaining variables I didn't declare any data type. So why we are calling directly this one? Because of this is the global variable. Global variable we can access within the scope and also outside the scope also. This is outside the scope, right? Let's see, I'm going to create one more method, public void method 2. Don't worry, these methods also I'm going to explain what is void, what is method. Okay, so just understanding purpose I'm going to explain what is local and global variable. Just concept you can understand. Okay, so if you are not understanding code also, no issue. Just what is the global and what is the local variable, that you that try to understand. Right now, see, I'm not going to define salary equal to 25,000. Now phone number equal to, we can enter any value, and also this age, first name, last name, again I'm going to, okay, right? So here Raju 123 and CHI 123, age is same. Now we can save the code, it will get an error. See now, see these 3 lines we didn't get any error. Here also we didn't get any error. Only the line number 16 and 17 we are getting error. Why? Because if we go to here, see now, what is that? Variable does not exit salary and phone, line number 16 and 17. So last name, first name, age system is allowing. But if you call for salary and phone in another method, it is not allowing. Why? Because this is the local variable. This local variable we can access within the scope only. Within the scope, within the flower bracket only, we can access these variables. See, if it is a variable is declaring top of the class, or starting of the class, that is something like a global variable. We can access this global variable wherever it is required in the class. Okay, wherever it is required in the class, either we can call method 1 or method 2, or maybe somewhere, whatever, wherever it is required the particular values, then we can call. So the example is, if you want to call the variable in multiple times or multiple methods, then you can declare as a variable as a global variable, and we can call wherever it is required this variable. Okay, if we want to require the variable only specific method within the scope, then we can declare within the scope only. Okay, so now here what I'm going to do, so I'm going to mention here integer, what do you call, otherwise I'm going to mention string city equal to Bangalore. Okay, and also here string state equal to KTK. Okay, so now we can save now. We can save. And if you want to declare one more time salary, yeah, you can declare. If it is a local variable, then we can mention like this. Okay, so if you want to change any value, you can change save now. But you have to declare one more time the data type. See, it is saved automatically without any error. Okay, so this is something like global and local variable. Clear, team? Any questions here? Tell me now, what is the global variable here? What is the global variables? What are the global variables? First name, then first name, last name, comma, age. What is the local variable? Local variables are, tell me what are the local variables we have in this class? Salary,
Age.
then phone number,
Age.
then age is not a local variable, right? So age is declaring top of the class, right? This is the global variable. Already global variable is mentioned here. Within the scope, what are the variables you declared with the data type? That is something like salary, phone, city, comma, state. Clear now? Clear now? Any question? Save now. So if you want to comment any code, then like this we can comment. We can use double slash so that the code is not considered. Okay, it is commented the code. Like this we can comment at the lines if not required in Apex class instead of deleting. Clear or still any doubts? Please let me know. Clear now? What is local variable and global variable? Why no response? No response means not clear.
Yes, it is clear.
Thank you. Right. Next one is operators. Operators. What are the operators we have? Okay. So in Apex class, we can use for double equal to, double equal to. Double equal to is nothing but so equals to left equal to right. Okay, right. Example rating double equal to heart. Okay, like this we are going to check. Means left value equal to, we are comparing with the right value. That is something like equal sign. Okay, we can use for not equal to as well. If you want to compare any value, it is not contain that particular value, means we can use for not equal to. And also we are using for equal sign. Equal sign means if you want to assign any value, see here, if you are assign any value, we are using equal sign. If you want to check any condition, or if you want to check if it is not a contain that particular value, then we can use for equal to or not equal to. Okay, based on requirement you can use these operators. And also one more is example. Just now we discussed, right? Example is check rating is hot. Okay, then how to check rating is hot? If rating double equal to hot. Okay, why I am using single quote? Because of rating is string value. And see, whenever you are checking any condition inside the if logic, then you have to use for double sign. Okay, double equal to you have to use. If you are use single equal, it is not allowing. Okay, see example I will show you. If you go to here, if age equal to, see suppose I'm going to use age equal to 35 system.debug I am true. Just simply, if you save now, it will get error. See, if you save now, it will get error. See, what is the error? Condition expression must be the type of boolean or integer. Okay, so now what we need to do, we have to use double equal, then only it is allowing. If you save now, it is allowed. This is how we can use for equal to or not equal to. If you want, you can put here if age not equal to 35, then system.debug, it will print system.debug I am false. Okay, so like this we can use for equal to double equal sign inside the if condition. If any value is any value checking for it is not a actual value, then we can use for not equal to. And if you want to assign any value to the variable, then you can use for equal operator. Hope you clear when we are using equal, double equal to, not equal to. Clear now? This is also one of the example you can consider. Right. Next one is relation operators. Okay. So there is a relation operators also we have. Relation operators. What are the relation operators we have? So that is something like we can use for greater than, if you want to check any value is higher value or lower value, greater than, less than, greater than equal to, and less than equal to, less than equal to. Okay, so this and all it will check, it will written as a true or false. Okay, true or false. If the value is greater, it will return the true value. If value is less than value, then we can return as a false value. So this time we are using any double sign in if condition, not required. See, if we go to here, similar example here only. See, if age greater than 35, then simply we can call system is I am true. Okay, simple again. If age less than 35, just simply we can make it as a false value. Save now. It will save the data without any error. This is how we can use for relationship operators. Relation operators we can use. Okay, so either we can use greater, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to. So based on condition or based on requirement, you have to use these type of operators in Apex. Okay, and also we have one more operators, that is something like logical operators. Logical operators, everything is there in Salesforce document. If you want, you can go through once again if you want more examples, but this knowledge is sufficient. What are the logical operators we have? We have logical operator and sign. Otherwise we can use for, like this also. We can type a and d, otherwise you can use symbol as well. Both are, it is allowing. And also if you want any r condition, if you want to check r condition, we can use this one. Okay, above enter button, it is there in this keyword. Okay, so now we can use for, either we can use r button. These are the, operators also we are sometimes we are referring to check for any logical value. So what is the example? So simple example is, if age greater than 35, and and rating is hot, rating equal to hot, then we can write inside the logic what logic we are going to write. So instead of and, we can change r. What is mean by and? If you want to check more than one condition, or if you want to check more than one condition or multiple conditions, you can use either and or r condition. If we are using and condition, it is satisfied both the values. Okay, so if age 35 and rating equal to hot, then only that logic is, it will execute whatever logic you are going to define inside the scope. Okay, so and means both the conditions need to satisfy. If any one of the condition is satisfied, then it will return as a false, and inside the if it will not go to, it will not go for inside the if, and it is not run any logic whatever you defined. If you want to check only any one of the condition, either age equal to 35 or rating equal to hot means, then we can use instead of and, we can use r condition as well. Already you know, right, in list view and some of the variable validation rules and all we'll discuss, right, already. What is and formula and what is r formula, same thing in code also, like this we are using. Okay, either we can use and symbol, otherwise you can use like this also. Most of the time we are using for symbols only. Okay, so these are the logical operators we are using in Apex class. Okay, so clear now? Any questions here? Right. Now, so next one is if else statements. If else statements. So what is if else statements generally? Anyone knows what is if else statements in C language or any programming language? Can you please mute yourself? Some noise is coming. Thank you. If else statements are nothing but decision statements. Okay. If else statements are nothing but decision statement. Decision statements. What are the decision statement? Why it is call it as a decision statement means always it will run by only once. If the condition is satisfied, it will execute if condition. If the condition is not satisfied, it will go for the else condition. Okay, already so it is not discussed previously maybe. So I will discuss one example also so that we can understand clearly. If else statements are nothing but a decision statements or conditional statements. So these statements it will run only once. Okay, so these statements it will run only once. So if you want to check any condition or if you want to check any logic whether that value is present or not, then we can use for if else statements. Okay, the syntax of the if else statements is, see, wherever I mentioned the syntax, that is very important. As a developer you have to remember the syntaxes. Okay, so what is that? If condition equal to true, if the condition equal to true, what will happen? It will run for inside the condition. What is that? So here it will run the logic. It will run the logic. So if the condition is false, suppose whatever condition you declared, the condition is not satisfied, then if you want to run any negative logic, see, in real time what we have to do, there is a two types of logic we have. If the condition equal to true, something age equal to 35, we need to write one logic. Other than age equal to 35, we need to execute one more logic. Means we can execute positive one and we can execute negative logic as well. Then how we are going to define such conditions means, then we can use for if else condition. See now how to use else part. Else we can use for, this is condition equal to false. If you want to check any, this is the false condition. This is the false condition. This is true condition. True condition. Right. So this is syntax for the if else statement. If this condition equal to true, whatever logic you defined inside the if, it will execute. If the condition is not true, then it will execute to false condition automatically. Okay. So this is something like if else statement. Let's see one example. Let's see one example. If industry is banking, then set rating is hot, otherwise set rating is warm, and description is maybe enough, and account number is, otherwise we can mention annual revenue is 50,000. Let's see how to write this code. So this is the requirement. Okay, just simply I'll give some 4 lines of code how to write that one. So let's see. Click on here. How to open this one? If you go to debug, here we have a open anonymous window, and otherwise you just click on Control E, it will open. In your keypad you can use Control E. Otherwise you can go to debug and open the execute anonymous window. This screen it will open. Okay, again I'm saying, whatever code you are going to write inside the anonymous window, it will not saved into the database. Whatever code you are writing outside the anonymous window, means by using file new this navigation, then that code is saved into the database. Whenever you want, you can open that code, okay, in that particular organization. So if you want to run the debug, if you want to run any code without saving, or if you want to check any piece of lines code you want to debug, then we can write inside the anonymous window and we can execute. Okay, let's see what is the requirement. This is the requirement, right? What is the requirement? So if annual revenue, if industry is banking, then set rating is hot, otherwise set rating equal to warm. Okay, what I'm going to do, string industry. Now I'm going to save industry value. Okay, industry equal to now I'm passing banking value. Okay, so now I want to check, right, whether the industry is storing banking value or not. If it is a banking, I want to set rating equal to hot. How to set rating equal to hot? Then here see, we are using rating multiple times, right? So rating you are using inside if condition, and else part also we need to use, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare string rating. Now if industry equal to double equal to, you have to use, then it is a banking, now this condition equal to true, then what we need to do, if the industry banking is set, industry is a banking, means the condition is satisfied, then set rating equal to hot. How to set rating? Just simply we can put rating equal to hot. That's it. Suppose if industry is not banking, so here otherwise means industry is not a banking, then what we need to do? Just put else part. Then here we can set rating equal to warm. Rating equal to warm, and also in else part one more value we need to declare. What is that? Annual revenue. So annual revenue, it is not a data type, right? It is not a global variable. Then what we need to do? So we need to use decimal annual revenue equal to 50,000. That's it. This is how we have to write the code by using if else statement. Okay, so clear now. If the industry is banking, then the value is set. Let's see we can print this value whether it is executed or not. System.debug. How to print the value? By using system.debug. Again I'm repeating, in C language how to print the value? By using scanf or printf. In JavaScript we are using for console.log, otherwise you can use alert messages. I think in Java also we are using console.log, something is there. Okay, same like in Salesforce also, how we are going to debug the value, how we are going to print that particular line of code, that by using system.debug. Okay, here see banking, just simply I'm going to put industry is banking. Okay, banking, AING. And also one more, I'm going to copy the system.debug. Now here I'm going to print industry is not banking value. Simply I'm going to print then some static value. Okay, let's see how to execute this one. So click on open log. Again I'm showing, so if you open below, so here one arrow mark is there, right? When click on below, here there is a log files we have, right? If you are not checking the checkbox, if you execute, see now I will show you. If you execute now, it will not open log file. See here the status also, it is unread file. Okay, now go to this file, just click on double click, it will open the log file. Instead of clicking double click, again go to Control E, select this checkbox, automatically this log file it will open. Click on execute now, it will execute. Okay, see if we go to debug only, see now which statement it is run? Industry is banking. Why it is run industry is banking? Because of this condition is satisfied. Okay, so how many times this code will run? Only this code is run by only once. Because of this condition is satisfied, it is not go to else part. Okay, suppose I'm going to add some another value 1 2 3 4. Again click on execute. Just go to debug only. See now what is the value it is coming now? Industry is not banking value. Now it is go to else part. Okay, if the condition is not satisfied, so it will directly go to else part, and this data it will print. Okay, so this is something like if else statement. Hope you clear what is if else statement, what is conditional statements. Okay, again I'm repeating, conditional statements are executing or run by only once. If the condition is satisfied, it will run by inside the logic. If the condition is not satisfied, it is go to else part. Any questions here? Clear now? If else statement. Hmm? Let's see one more example. If industry is energy, then set rating is hot. If industry is banking, then set rating is warm. If industry is other than energy and banking, then set rating is cold and make it description as account is cold, account is cold, something like this. You can update the description. Okay, so this is one more example. What is difference between above one and this one means this is the single if else statement. What is nested if conditions? Nested if conditions means how to use multiple if conditions. If else, something like that. Let's see this example. Okay, copy this example. Now go to developer console. Right. So remove this code. Already I copied this code, right? Okay. So these are the requirement. What is the first condition? Same story. So first we need to declare the integer in industry value. Okay. So what is the industry? String industry equal to, now I'm going to use other. Just simply I'm going to use other or whatever value. Okay, this one. Maybe I'm going to use medicine. MADCHIN something. Okay, industry is medicine, something value I have updated. Now what is the first step? If industry is energy, set rating equal to hot, right? So we are using rating value all three conditions. Okay, so we are using more than once. This rating is checking for more than one condition. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare rating is a global variable. Okay, now so what I'm going to do, first condition, if industry equal to what is that, energy, then what we need to update, simply we can update rating is hot, rating equal to hot. Okay, that's it. First condition is completed. Okay, if industry is energy, then we can set rating equal to hot. Let's see, we can print this value. System.debug rating value is, we can use any value, just identification purpose only we are adding this character. Once add this character, just click on plus symbol and pass this variable, automatically the value it will print to system.debug statement. Okay, now suppose if industry is not energy, then what we need to check, if industry equal to banking, then we need to check rating equal to warm. So what we need to do, if we go to else part, directly we can use for rating equal to warm. No, rating equal to warm, directly we can use. No, the condition is not satisfied. Why? Because this one we need to return only for industry equal to banking, not for other value. Suppose industry is energy, then we are displaying rating equal to hot, this condition is satisfied. But if it is industry is not energy, even though is industry is banking or other than banking, this value it will return. Then how to check this value? Again same story. what we need to do? So here we can use one more if condition. Okay, that is, what is that? Industry equal to banking. Then what we need to do inside the banking, then we can apply here. Okay, same, put the system.debug statement here also, system.debug statement. And one more is, if industry is not energy, not banking, then what value we need to display? Rating equal to cold and rating equal to description equal to something value. Then here you can put the value, else part. Here no need to check that one. Directly we can use rating equal to cold and also string description equal to account is cold. Okay, so if you want to print this value, copy this value and we can print the rating. If you want, plus if you want to add any character in between also we can add. description is description is description is and again plus symbol we can pass. Like this single debug statement we can pass multiple variables as well. Either we can declare different system.debug statement each variable, otherwise in single debug statement you can print multiple values. Okay, rating value we can print, description value we can print, whatever value it is required we can print. Now let's debug this code, whether it will execute or is there any error. Again, I'm going to explain before checking output. First condition, and in industry is energy. Industry is energy. Then we'll print the rating equal to hard. We are assigning. If industry is banking, means if it is not energy, it will go to else condition. Again, system will check industry is banking. Then we'll assign the rating equal to warm. Suppose if industry is not energy, it will go to this else part. If industry is not equal to banking, again it will go to else part, and here there is no any condition other than energy and industry banking. It will print all remaining other values, rating equal to cold and description equal to this value. Just execute now. See, it is executing without any error. Click on debug only. See now what value it is print. Go to here. See, rating value is cold and the description equal to account is cold. See which value it is print. Line number 17 value it is print. Why? Because here industry is not a energy, industry is not a banking. Suppose I'm going to pass banking. Let's see which code it will execute. Execute now. Click on debug only again. Debug only. See now it is executing warm. Oh, sorry. It will gonna code. Bapure. By mistake, I pressed Control R. Okay, is there any Control Z? No, it's not available. Okay, you understood, right? Code is understood, right? Can you people try to write the code, or do you want me to provide? Do you want code? No answer. String. I'm going to write the code. Just you can observe.
Yeah, please provide, sir.
Yeah. Industry equal to, just I'm going to give the banking. Okay, now string, I'm going to declare rating value. Because of rating you are using multiple times. If industry equal to energy, then we are going to set rating is hard. Okay, so if you want to print this value, system.debug rating value is now pass this variable here. Okay, this one. Copy this code, copy these 3 lines of code. Now go to else part, same again, paste it. If now industry equal to banking, then rating equal to warm. Okay, so if other than energy, other than banking, then again go to the else part. Else part, just put rating equal to cold, and description. Description, it is a local variable, right? Then we can use description equal to account is cold. Account is cold. Okay, now we can print this value. System.debug. System.debug. Rating value is then we can pass the rating variable here. Okay, and also plus, if you want account description, again plus, pass the account description variable. Okay, like this. Here you can enter any keyword if you want. Description value is. Okay, like this. First I'm going to save this code, and again I'm going to explain once again. Okay, now go to here. See, if you execute now rating equal to bank, let's see what value it will come. Industry, line number 4. Line number 4 spelling mistake. Copy this, paste it, and also here also I'm going to paste it. Right. Go to here, execute now. Again line number 8 also, and let's execute now. See, it will execute without any error. Go to the debug only. So it will show for warm value. Why? Because now industry value is banking. It will run for second condition. So already we discussed, right? This is execute only one time. Which condition is satisfied? It will go to the particular piece of logic and it will execute. Okay. So this is something like if else process. If you want to give the energy, then it will execute first line of code only. So if you go to here, just execute now. Execute now, click on debug only. See, rating value is hard. Okay, rating value is hard. This line of code it will execute. How you know whether rating value is hard? Means, see here the debug, what is the line number here? See, in debug statement we have a line number as well. See, if you go to previous one executed line number 10. Where is line number 10? Here it is available, line number 10. It is line number 6. Now the first condition is satisfied. Which value it is print? Line number 6, not for line number 10, not for line number 14. If you go to here, see line number also it is available. So this is something like how to use multiple conditions. Clear now how to use multiple conditions? Any questions? Right. So as of now, we discussed if we want to run any code only one time, then we can use for inside the if condition and we can execute the code only one time. Suppose if you want me to execute multiple times, then how to do that? What is the alternate approach? Okay. Suppose if you want to run the code, suppose in database in account object contain 1000 account records. In 1000 account records, only 50 account records annual revenue is more than 50K. I want to check only 50 accounts out of 1000 which accounts are having greater than 50,000 for annual revenue. Means we need to validate one every time, right? So first we need to check the first record, annual revenue is greater than 50,000. If it is not, we can ignore. Again, it will check the system next account. Again, it will check the system next account. Like this, the code it will run 1000 times. How many records are existed in object? That many times it will execute the code and it will find out actual data what it is looking for based on the logic. Okay, so then how we are going to run the code more than once? That is something like a loops concept. Okay, what is the loops concept? Loop concept is loops are nothing but it will execute more than once. If else statements or decision statements are executing only one time, or if you want to execute any logic more than one time, then you can go with the loops. Okay, hope you clear what is difference between loop and if else statements. Okay, decision statements. Okay, so loops are executed more than more than once, the loop will execute. Loop will execute. Okay. So here, generally in Salesforce, there is two types of loops we are using. One is normal for loop, normal for loop, and one more is for each loop. For each loop. Okay, for each loop. So in Apex, most of the times 99% we are using for each loop. Why? Because in for each loop directly we can check the Salesforce data whenever you are writing logic. Okay, so why we are going to write the code? Always we are writing the code, we're writing the code to manipulate the data, right? Only the data purpose only we are going to write the code, because of the business will run by data only, not for your logic. Okay, so logic is one time we are going to define. Based on the logic, user is going to enter the data. Without data, so nothing will do, right? So if you open the Flipkart, the products are not available, why need to use the Flipkart? So Flipkart, why we are using the product data is available. So the data is more sensitive, guys. Okay, so if you want to check any real-time data, or if you want to iterate any data more than once, then we are using for each loop. So most of the time, 99% developers are using for each loop in real time. Okay, normal for loop. If you want to create any static data more than one time or something, then we are using normal for loop. It is most of the time test classes we are using normal for loop. Okay, remaining times we are using for each loop only. Okay, this one. So tell me, what is normal for loop? Already people are knows this one. What is normal for loop syntax? What is the syntax? Normal for loop. Tell me. For loop, what is that? First one is initialization. Yes or no? Initialization, comma, next termination, comma, next increment or decrement. Yes or no? So this is something like for loop syntax. This is the normal for loop syntax. So what is that initialization? We can use initialization. Initialization is nothing but we can declare like integer I equal to 0, or maybe we can declare like integer I equal to 1, or which value we need to start with. That is something like I equal to 20. Based on requirement like this, we can use initialization. What is the termination? Termination is nothing but a condition. Okay, so termination, when it is going to terminate that for loop, when we are going to stop that for loop, which condition we are going to use? That is nothing but condition to stop the for loop. What is that? Suppose if condition is I greater than equal to 10. I greater than equal to 10 means once the for loop start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, like this, the code it will run, and finally once the code it will reach the limit, the termination I equal to 10, then it will stop the for loop. Okay, so that is the what is increment. What is increment or decrement? Decrement means is nothing but I plus plus or I minus minus. I minus minus means either you can increment the value, it will take the positive value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is increment. If you want to decrement the value 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, like this it will run the code. Okay, let's see one example here. Simple example. Write a for loop to print 1 to 10. Simply we can print 1 to 10. How to print 1 to 10? Let's see. So I'm repeating, guys. For loops are executing more than once. How to remove these debug logs? Just go to debug, click on clear, shift alt LG, it will remove. Right, now again I'll remove the code. Now for loop, how many times it will execute for loop? More than one time. Let's see. For What is the syntax? First syntax is initialization, means integer I equal to 0, means the for loop start with 0. Okay. Next condition is I equal to, what is that we need to print? I less than equal to 10. Okay, less than greater than equal to 10. So now we want to increment or decrement. 1 to 10 means it is a increment, right? Then we can pass I plus plus. That's it. Let's see this for loop, how many times it will execute. How to check how many times it will execute? Simply we can say that system dot debug integer equal to, just pass I value. That's it. We are printing the I value. Let's see how many times it will execute here. Click on execute now. See, previously the system immediately it will execute the code, because of it will run only one time. Now it is taking time. The process time also it will increase whenever using for loop. Okay. Now click on debug statement. See now how many times it is executed. 10 times it is executed. So now actually the logic is I equal to 1. Why? Because we need to print 1 to 10, not for 0. Okay. If you want, you can change the code as well. See now how many times this loop is executed? 10 times this loop is executed. We are declaring initial starting value is 10, and we are adding condition to stop the for loop I greater than equal to 10. If the greater than equal to 10, limit is reached, automatically loop will stop. Okay, so here I plus plus. Like this we can use for normal for loop. Hope you clear. Okay, I will give an assignment here. Let's try this assignment. You can find out the code in Google as well. First assignment is write a for loop. Write a for loop to print 100 to 90. Okay, this is first assignment. One more assignment is write a for loop. Write a for loop to print 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50, and 60. How to print? What is the condition here using? Okay, I equal to 10. Starting value is I equal to 10. Okay, so hint I'm giving. Okay, first one is same code, starting I equal to 100 and greater than equal to 9, less than equal to 90, and here you can use for decrement I minus minus. Second for loop is starting value is 10. Next value I want to print 20. Then what condition we need to use here? I equal to, which condition we need to use? Tell me. I equal to I plus 10 value. Hope you clear, right? I plus 10 value. So this is how we can use for the next for loop. Okay, this is the condition. Let's try that one. Now third one is write a for loop. Write a for loop to print all even numbers from 1 to 50. 1 to 50. Try this one. Okay, so here whenever you are printing even number, I will give one formula, int value. So how we are going to use means math dot mode function. We have one function. Okay, if the math dot mode comma 2, then it will return even number. Okay, if it is a math dot mode, like this system will check I comma 1, it will run odd value. Okay, so this is one thing. And also final example is write a for loop to print 10th table. Okay, can you do this assignment? Yes, Tara. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Try this one. So take your own time, not for tomorrow. You can take your own time and practice this assignment so that you can understand how to use normal for loop. Okay, right. I think enough today. Do you want me to continue or enough? Enough, right? Right. So tomorrow we'll discuss for each loop. Okay. For each loop also very important, that we'll discuss tomorrow. We'll see one example. Right. What are the topics we discussed? Variables, okay. If, else, for loops, and local, global variables. Any questions? Clear? Development is easy or difficult, guys? Easy now? Do you guys are following me?
Yes, sir.
Development easy or admin easy?
Still now we have attended only 3 classes, right, sir, about development.
No. Up to 3
Need
classes
different.
development. You people are following me, right? You people are understanding the code, right? See, if any difficulties, please let me know. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Done. Okay.